Time to get up. I'm off to North West Wales to tip a split load into 2 different farms, and then I'm back to Stoke-on-Trent to load for heading over to Norfolk. Today I have woken up in a lay-by. Farm that I'm going to is about an hour away, really far to the west of Wales, so I'm hoping for a really pretty drive. Before I head off, I need to do my daily checks to make sure that everything on my lorry is roadworthy and isn't going to cause an accident or injury to somebody else or myself. Everything's looking good, and it also looks like quite a nice morning. It's now 5:15. I've just filled out my daily checks book. I think it's going to be a little bit tricky to get to by the sounds of it. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Let's go. I managed to get myself into a lay-by last night on the A487, not far from Bangor, and then I pick up the A499 towards Pwllheli. The roads are quiet this morning and the views are very pretty, switching from beautiful hills to stunning coastlines. The A499 takes me right through the centre of Pwllheli, which is a little bit tight in places, but luckily, as it's so early in the morning, there's not much traffic around. The next town I head through is Abersoch, and this will lead me right into the farm that I'm heading for. This part of Wales is very popular with holidaymakers, and you can definitely see why. Getting to see beautiful places like this is why I really enjoy farm work. Once I get up to the farm, I need to find the bin and work out the best place to park to tip. The bin is down there. I take a moment to think about the best way to manoeuvre down there. Right. I decide that my best option is to drive all the way down and reverse into the narrowest part on my good side. If I had driven down into the narrowest part and tried to blindside it in, I probably wouldn't have enough room to swing my cab around. By doing it this way, I have just made things a lot easier for myself. And by reversing on my good side, it's given me the best viewpoint. Then I can pull forwards towards where I came in, and reverse down towards the bins once again on my good side. And this gives me a lot more room to get my trailer around the corner and swing my cab around when I'm in the right position. I'm a great believer of making things as easy for yourself as possible, as trying to be quick and clever can sometimes land you in a bit of bother. Naturally, doing it in a way that makes things easier for yourself can actually turn out quicker in the long run. This is a split load, so I have 15 tonne for here and 6 tonne for another farm. They're 2 different types of feed, so I need to make sure that I keep the door closed on this front compartment. I go to the back and check that I'm lined up with the bins, and then I can get all my attachments and my pipes ready to unload. When I spoke to the farmer last night and asked for directions, I also confirmed which bin I needed to blow into. I always aim to use as few pipes as I possibly can, as the shorter distance that it has to blow, the quicker it will be to unload. For this load, however, I would need 2 pipes, but I am going to swap a longer one out for a shorter one to decrease the distance and make it straighter, as being blown around bends can also have an impact on the speed. Now that it's all set up, I've just got to open one of the doors and then I can get it started. So that door there needs to stay closed, and I need to open this one. Once that's done, I can turn the donkey engine on the trailer, increase the revs, and then start blowing the load. I put the body up slightly, but not too much, as I don't want to create too much pressure on the door that I need to open at the next farm. The load needs to be blown right to the top of the bin and dropped in at the top. The front compartment has 6 tonne in it, so I know that I'm nearly there, looking at my onboard weigher. Generally, with pellets, I don't need to put the auger on to blow the load, except for blowing the last little bit out, as the pellets will generally gather at the sides, and this will just encourage them into the middle, where the feeder is, to blow the load through the pipe. I look through the little window, and when I'm happy that all the load has gone, I can turn everything off and undo all the pipes and attachments. I always do them up as tight as I can, so sometimes they're a little bit awkward to get off. I also put the body down as I'm packing the last few bits away. I must make sure that I do not forget anything, as I will need it at the next farm. I just do a quick check around the truck just to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Once I'm back in the truck, I give the next farmer a quick ring for directions.
Hello,
it's Gemma from Wayne's Transport. I'm coming to deliver some pellets to you.
Yes.
I should be over to you in about half an hour, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just there.
On the right hand side, perfect. All right then, ideal. I'll see you in about half an hour. All right, cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ta, ta.
Ta. That's very Welsh, isn't it? Ta. It's 10 to 8, so hopefully I will beat the mad rush. Maybe, I don't know. I'm facing the right way to get out of the farm, as I did all the manoeuvring I needed to do when I got here. By the sounds of it, there is no good way to get over to the next farm, so I prepare myself for some narrow, windy roads. I need to go back through Abersoch and turn off at the other end of the town, on a sharp bend that immediately goes uphill. And even though all the weight that I have on is at the front of my trailer, I still put the weight transfer on and pop it into manual for a bit. Then I come to some sharp, narrow corners, where I meet a 4x4 with a livestock trailer. I pull in as close to the wall as I can, traffic come in the other way, just about manage to squeeze through. Then I have a 10-minute hold up of the bin collections. Despite it only being a short distance over to the other farm, the journey has been quite eventful. I'm finally nearly there, and I only have one more lane left to go to get down to the farm. I see the farmer come over, so I pop out to help him open the gates, and I also confirm with him the bin that I need to tip into, as it's always good to double check. Here's a nice man. I need to back down between the buildings on the left-hand side of the screen, so I pull up as far as I can and get myself into position. It's not too bad to reverse into. I must be careful of the front of my truck as I swing the front round. There's a lot of farm equipment there that I could catch if I'm not careful. Then once I'm in, it's back in a straight line towards the bin. As you can tell, the truck is empty in the back compartments, but there is a load at the front. Once again, I'm going to set up like I did before, get this last 6 ton flown. I go about getting everything set up as quick as I can, as I know I still have quite a lot to do today. I think I'm also going to need 2 pipes for this load as well, as I don't want to hit anything behind me when I tip the body up. As the load is all up at the front, I am going to have to tip it up quite high at some point. I need to open the door on the compartment, and because of the weight behind the door, it is quite tough to open. I'm always very wary as soon as it goes, as I know some people have broken an arm doing this. Then I can tip the body up so that the load slides to the back, start up the donkey engine on the trailer, put the revs up, and get the load blowing. As you can see, the 6 ton that was in the front compartment has now moved down the trailer. This load doesn't take too long to blow off, and when I'm nearly there, I put the auger on to encourage everything towards the middle of the trailer and into the feeder. I also lift the body right up to the top, so that any feed that might be stuck up the top will slide down. Once I'm happy that the trailer is empty and the gauge goes back to 0, I turn everything back to the off position, I turn the donkey engine off, and then I start packing away, making sure that I remember to take everything, especially as this is not a farm that would be easy to get back to pick up forgotten equipment. Whilst I've been blowing this load off, I've been checking my map to see the best way back. I think I've found some alternative routes, but I just checked with the farmer to get a second opinion, as he knows the roads around here best. I'm back in the cab and all tipped off now. The way that I thought I should have gone, the farmer said I'm better off not going that way. So I'm going to have a quick little look, because he's saying I'll be better off going back the way I came. Apparently there's no easy way out of here, so... This farm was half an hour further west than the farm at Abersoch. Now I need to head back towards Abersoch to pick up the road that I came in on. So it's back up through the narrow lanes out of the farm, and around the narrow, bendy lanes towards Abersoch. This is where I met the cattle trailer on the way down, but fortunately I haven't met anything this time. Even though some of the roads aren't great to drive a lorry on, it's definitely worth it for views like these as I drop down over the hill. Eventually I get back onto the A499, which leads me up to the A487 towards Bangor. At Bangor, I take the A55, also known as the North Wales Expressway, which is another beautiful, interesting drive through tunnels and past stunning coastlines. This journey is around 135 miles and will take me around 3 hours. I eventually get onto the M56, which then links me onto the M6, where I get off at junction 16 for the A500, which is kind of like the ring road around Stoke-on-Trent. I come off of the A500 and head into the industrial estate, where I am picking up my next load of feed. Fortunately, there is nobody else waiting to load, so I'm not in here long before I can get onto the loading bay. This loading bay is very narrow and there is a slope up to it, so I need to get myself completely straight and lined up before I reverse on. The good thing about loading bays like these is you actually park on a weighbridge, so there's no back and forth from weighbridges trying to get the correct weight. The only bad thing about this weighbridge is it's not a drive on, drive off one. There is a wall behind me and I don't want to go back too far. There is a light and an alarm that will go off when you're in the correct position. But I feel like I've gone back quite far and I'm a bit nervous that the alarm isn't working, so I get out to check, but I am fine, and I only need to go back a few more inches to set the light off. Then I can start getting loaded out of the bins, and this load is a full load to the same farm, so I can spread the weight equally throughout the load. By the time I've come in, gone and seen someone, backed onto the correct bay, got loaded, got my paperwork, and as I'm on my way out, I've been here for just over an hour. This load is going to Norfolk, so I head back down the A500 towards the M6 and I head south on the M6. There are a couple of ways that I could have gone across to Norfolk, but at the moment this is looking the best on Google Maps for traffic. It also means that I can make a quick pit stop in Kill Services for a shower. I didn't get a shower yesterday because the services I stopped in, the showers were out of order, so I'm really looking forward to this. Right, I've just stopped in Kill. I'm going to have a quick shower and then I can get on. I just need to chuck a few things in my shower bag and then I can go. Thing is, I know I'm going to get down to the farm tonight and tip, but I don't know how far I'll get after that, and I know in here the shower normally works, so I'm going to go in here. I'm not prepared to risk not getting one today. See you in a bit. As you can see, the water pressure is not great, but it works, and that is the main thing. It's also one that in general is kept fairly clean. When I get back to the truck, I'm just going to give the farmer a quick ring for directions.
Hello.
Hello, it's Gemma from Wayne's Transport. I'm coming to deliver some feed to you.
Yep.
I should be there about 6 o'clock if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh yeah, go up to Wymondham and then go like around Wymondham sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any weight restrictions for going around.
Is that the better road in, is it, from the 47?
Might be the best road. I'm not really. I've never driven a lorry.
Yeah, and once I get there, what bin or bins do you want me to put the feed in?
There's 2 bins up at the milking parlour. They're side by side next to each other.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much.
No problem. I will. Yeah, so it'll be about 6.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I just have a little check for weight restrictions just before I go to be on the safe side, but thankfully it's all looking good. I head out of the services and back onto the M6 heading south. I'm not going to take the M6 toll, I'm just going to stay on the normal M6. It's a bit slow in places, but it keeps going and it doesn't really hold me up too much. As the M6 crosses the M1, it turns into the A14. I do hit a little bit of traffic on the A14 coming up to rush hour, which is pretty normal for the A14. Then just past Newmarket, I pick up the A11. I stay on the A11 until I get to Wyndham, and then I need to find my way up through the lanes to the farm. And despite the farmer not being sure if these are good roads going into the farm, compared to some of the places that I need to get to, these are actually really nice roads. Despite it getting a bit narrower again as we get towards the farm, these are still good lanes, with no hedges or trees bashing the lorry around. And if I did meet something, I have a clear view to reverse. I'm finally at the farm and I need to look around for the bins, and this is quite a big farm by the looks of things. How do I get to them? Oh yeah, that is by the milking parlour. What the hell is that there? I think I need to put my air up. By the looks of things, I need to turn around and back up to the bins. It's taken me just over 4 hours to get here, and once I've unloaded, if all goes smoothly, I won't have much time left after that. I walk to the back to check out my positioning and the bins. I can see that there are 2 bins to tip in, this one and that one. Because I don't have a lot of time left to the end of the day, I get on with setting up very quickly. I have pellets which generally are easier to blow than mill, so that is one good thing that is on my side. And for this first bin, I'm only going to need 1 pipe, and blowing it a shorter distance will help with the speed of the offload. Once I'm happy, I can get the donkey engine on and set the blower going. I can then undo both doors in the trailer, as all of this feed is being blown off on this farm, and then I can raise the body up. When I spoke to the farmer, he said half needs to go in one bin and half needs to go in the other. I have 26 tonnes on board, so it would be 13 in each. I can see that I will need more pipes for the bin that is set back, so I get some out in preparation. Once I reach the allocated 13 tonne for the bin, I stop the blower. I take off the pipe, and I will need this pipe and attachment for the other bin. For the second bin, I will also need to reposition myself rather than using extra pipes unnecessarily. Then I can connect these pipes that I've already set up for myself to the blower. And because this bin is set back compared to the other one, I will need 3 pipes to connect the trailer to the bin. I can then once again put the donkey engine on and start blowing the load. I've already anticipated that this will probably take longer because of how far it's being blown through the pipes, and at this point I realise that my time is quite tight. I've just rung the farmer again while I'm blowing this last little bit off, and I just asked if I can stay on the farm overnight, which he said yes, thank goodness. I put the auger on to get the last bit of the load out. Once I'm happy that everything is out, I can turn everything to the off position so that when I blow my next load, the pressure won't be too high. Because I had to use 3 pipes, I have quite a lot to put away this time. I'm also starting to get a little bit hungry, so I'm not going to hang about putting everything away, as I'm pretty keen for my tea this evening. But despite doing it quickly, I still make sure that I pick up every single piece of equipment that I need and put it away neatly. Then all that's left to do is put the body down and make sure that the internal doors are closed, ready for the next load. I am finally done for the day. Woo. Just in time to get myself parked up, and that's it. I can stay on the farm tonight, which is great. So I'm just gonna park here out of the way. This looks like an area where I'll be out of the way, although I am going to be leaving at 5 in the morning. So, look up to this pile of stone. Ideal. Got some horses over there to look at. Nice. Right. Right, so I'm going to microwave my eggs into scrambled eggs, and then I have some tomato soup to go with it. Been a bit of a favourite lately, although I think I'm going to go back to salads because it is getting a bit warmer now. And today I started at 5. It is now 5 to 8, so I've done a 15-hour day, and I've done 9 hours and 8 minutes of actual driving. I've gone into a 10, but normally on the blower work you don't need 10s quite so often because there's a lot more other work. I've only got 2 days left. It's Wednesday today. I haven't used a 10 yet, so I've still got 1 10 to use for the rest of the week, which should be plenty on this job, looking at what I've got tomorrow. Hee. Eggs done. I love living out of a microwave, and I was being sarcastic. Right, so definitely ready for bed. I've got 9 hours off and then I'm back up at 5 to start again. Thanks for watching.